We've got Style and Structure Construction Company visiting here. Joe and Danielle, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks
I want
for
to make sure
having
that you're not hiding behind me. Snuggle over just a little bit there because we want to zoom in on you at some point in time. So we have been having a series of interviews with people that we've done business with, and you did a major remodel for Kelvin, and that's how we were introduced. And I've been over to see it. Very good work. Thank you, so much. It's good work. I always like people to take good care of my Kelvin, and you took good care of him. Nice project. Added on a nice porch on the back end, nice exercise room underneath, and really made that whole side of the house just, the utilization is just so much better for that whole side of the house. Beautiful. So I'm sure that he'll enjoy that for years to come. So tell us a little bit about your company. First of all, contact information, so that if people, when they're listening to you, it's something I always forget to give out, so I want to get it out there right now. Contact information on how they can reach out to you and utilize your services. Go.
Definitely. Well, I'm Danielle, and I'm typically the first point of contact with the company. So most people reach me by either email or a call. Quicker by a phone call. So 651-202-0982. That phone number is 651-202-0982. Otherwise, my email is Danielle, Danielle, at style-structure.com. And then you can check us out on our website as well. It is style-structure.com. Otherwise, we do a lot of pictures and videos on social media, both on Instagram and Facebook. So those are great ones to check out as well.
Okay, Joe, talk a little bit about your background, how you came up, and what your role is.
Well, actually, kind of been in construction my whole life. My dad was also in the building industry. So I started right out of high school, just learning on the job, kind of worked myself through the ranks into supervisory positions, and so I always kind of wanted to start my own company, and it was just a great time to do it. So,
what do you love most about the construction business?
Really just seeing start to finish, meeting the people early on, getting their ideas, and just putting that vision together, and then wrapping it up at the end, and seeing them enjoy and just create family memories in that space that you created is so satisfying for me.
Danielle, what do you like most about the industry?
I would say two things: people, and then the designs. I'm passionate about designing homes and spaces, so I really love seeing kind of that before and after, or on a new build, seeing it go from drawings into something that a family can live in. But then also just meeting people. I'm a very social person. I love to meet people, and we have just a great time with our customers. And I would say, for Joe, he's really unique as a builder, and it's why we've partnered so well together. A lot of builders or people who are good at their trade sometimes focus just on that and may not be so good at communication with clients. And that's one thing that Joe really stands out with. So,
yeah, I would say on Joe, the other thing that for Joe would be problem solving. I think that's a gifting. For Joe is he'd be out at our house literally every day. And of course, me, I'm high maintenance, and trust me, I'll find it if it's wrong, or if I what about that? And Joe's great. He can problem solve through anything. So it's that's a gifting, right? So definitely. You don't find that really in, I think, a lot of builders. We've done a lot of remodeling in the past in our past house. You don't have the mindset, they never get crabby with me, right? Which is probably because I'm paying them, but no, just kidding.
Yeah, they are crabby. They just don't show it.
They just don't show it till I get.
That's a gifting.
That's a gift. Yeah, that's a gift. No, right. but the problem-solving piece is what's cool, because there's uniqueness in every project, I'm sure, right? And
there is.
Your ability just to come in, see it, think through it, and come up with a great solution was fantastic.
Yeah,
so,
and to that point, I think, we've both worked for larger companies before, and that's challenging because you kind of have to go through a process and system. So a customer might ask us a question, and we would, even if we had an idea, we wouldn't be able to answer at that moment. We'd have to go through, all these checks and balances, where that's been one of Joe and I's favorite thing about breaking off into our own business, just really be able to work one-on-one with the clients, get through issues right on the spot
Right.
before it grows into something bigger. So,
Tell me more about, you said with larger companies. Tell me more about that.
where did we work?
Yeah, where'd you come from, and what did you learn from them that you took from that and incorporated it into your business?
Definitely. So Joe, you can go first with that.
Yeah, so I've worked for both smaller custom builders and also a bigger production builder. Really unique with a custom builder because you are more hands-on, smaller scopes of work, but you still go through all the same steps. With a production builder, you learn really to streamline your process and get all those things dialed in. So I think taking the best of both worlds and putting it together, but still being a lot closer to the customer, that personal relationship is very important.
And that's how Joe and I met. We were actually working for a builder called Creative Homes for 7 years together. And we oversaw the custom division and off-site builds together. And we just always worked great. And as they grew as a company, became more of a production builder. And it was kind of a great transition where we kind of broke off to do our own custom projects.
How do you guys find clients now? Like, how are you building the business, right? So we got to know you guys through your husband, who's a great personal trainer at Altius in Stillwater. If you need a place to go work out, go to Altius in Stillwater. Phenomenal, right? Your husband's great, so that's how we met you.
Yeah.
How are you finding business? Is everybody has to work out first, or
Well,
Yeah,
your
right.
husband? We get a lot of referrals from just people that we know.
Okay.
I've actually been pretty close to a lot of customers throughout the years that I've stayed in contact with and become pretty good friends with. And they're saying, wow, Joe went out on his own, and that's great. We have, my brother wants to build a house or wants to do a basement. So we're getting a lot of referrals that way.
Okay.
And that's our favorite route to get business.
Right.
I mean, you just have that personal experience. They're telling their friends and family the truth about their experience. I mean, no job's ever going to go perfect, so we want people to hear the full truth so they really know what to expect, and we really try to make it great. So I would say, referrals. He's been in the industry for over 30 years. Again, we've been working with customers for over 7 years together, so a lot of referrals. Social media has kind of been our second platform that we've been getting a
And where are
lot
you
of
doing
calls.
that? Is that Facebook? Is that Instagram?
Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest.
Okay.
But we've been getting quite a bit of reach out from those
Okay.
when we post videos of clients and things like that and their projects. Just website searches and stuff. So that's kind of
When
been it.
you are, so you went off on your own. Now you both came from a larger builder. You took from each, and I appreciate that because I've repped a number of builders over the years and saw that same transition. And some of them were small, disaster, and then others had good processes, and that is so helpful to a buyer. When we come back, I want to hear more about your company and more about some specific projects that you do. So we are talking to Joe and Danielle from Styles and Structure Construction Company, and we went out. Last time we had talked about, kind of where you came from, your background, where you came from. Joe, I understand exactly what you're saying, the thrill of the build, because I'm a CPA. So I was with a big national, global actually, accounting firm, and I traveled around, audited banks and savings and loans and construction companies. That's how I got kind of interested in it, and that's kind of on the bookwork side. So then I get into real estate sales because a friend encouraged me to get into real estate sales, and I repped a number of builders over the years, lots of builders, thousands of houses, and all different kinds of builders. But there's still nothing nicer than pulling up to a neighborhood and looking down the street and seeing that you built every house on that street.
Yeah.
And I met and talked to and helped design and work through the process with every customer that lived in those houses on that street. There's nothing better than that.
I'm sure my kids got real sick of hearing it growing up. Every neighborhood we drive through, hey, I did that house.
Yeah.
I worked on that house. Like a great dad.
Yeah. Eye roll.
His kids are all accountants now. They're like, oh, I can't do that.
Kind of walk us through, if you will, what
You
your,
asked what projects they're doing.
yeah,
right now.
what your featured projects are, what you're working on now, and what is your preferred kind of venue, if you will. I mean, what is your niche that you really like to get into? Just kind of start with a project that you're engaged in right now. What's special about that, and what's exciting for you with
And
that?
that's after you give your contact info again.
Yeah,
Right.
please.
Okay,
Thank
yes.
you. Thanks, Kelvin.
So if you are interested in a builder or remodel, give me a call. My name's Danielle, and my phone number is 651-202-0982. That's 651-202-0982. Or you can reach out at our email at danielle@style-structure.com. So
Or you can go to Altius in Stillwater, work out.
yeah.
Get a
yes, go
referral.
meet my husband, get a good workout, and then we'll build you a house.
You know, one of the coolest things about your husband is, and not to, we should talk about your stuff, but your husband does a great job of encouraging the boys to bring others. So now Colin and Max, his buddy Max, bring about 5, 6, 7 other boys to Altius to go work
great.
out on their basketball team because we try to get them into
You
the
get
school.
a little discount then?
He has
I'm
my-
just
he has
asking.
my- he has
I'm
my
just
credit
asking.
card.
I'm just asking.
No, I'm
Just thinking out loud.
think that.
You know how I do.
No,
The
you're
Holy
always
Spirit,
thinking out-
Holy Spirit
Yeah,
kind
just
of prompted
prompted.
me to ask.
We're talking about the prompting of the Spirit this morning before, so
All right.
that's
Yeah.
good. So we'll
Yeah.
move on.
Oh, fun.
Sorry.
I love that they go there. So, but one of the projects we're working on right now is a full build. It's in Stillwater, and one reason we're really excited about it is it's going to be our model home in the spring parade.
Okay.
All fun.
So the client and I have been working on some really fun, unique designs on this home. She has a great design eye and is willing to do some newer trends. As you know, we always like to do newer trends, kind of push things, make it really unique to a client, but at the same time, make sure it's timeless. You never
Right.
want to put something in there that you're like, in
3
2
years from
years
now,
you're going to hate
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Or if it, you can do something kind
Yeah.
of crazy as long as it's easy to change, like a paint
Right.
color.
Yeah.
So
what's something crazy in there that you're doing, or something that's unique or cutting edge?
Mm-hmm.
What's
Well, we're actually going to be putting in some really fun rustic beams that were pulled out of an old barn. And the way that we're kind of making them unique, because we see a lot of beams now in homes, she's going to be doing kind of a mix of rustic beams as well as metal work in it, because it's a kind of a mix of a rustic modern home. So these beams will be that mix.
rustic modern?
Rustic modern,
I
yes.
like it.
And then we're also, it's kind of one long line of a kitchen, dining room, great room with a huge peaked vault. And then on one side, we've got a rustic mantle. And then the hood is on the other side, and we also have more of a mantle look there. So something very unique, and
Interesting.
we're really excited about it.
How
So-
crabby does Joe get with you when you come in with old beams and say, "Hey, Joe, this would be great, wouldn't it?"
I got
Joe and I have a fun relationship where he always tells me, I don't know. And I always say, if there's a will, there's a way.
I learned not to argue.
That's right. That brings up
So-
two questions I have. Then.
Yeah.
No,
that's fine.
question one: where do you source that, Joe? I mean, where do you source that material? Then, if somebody has a notion that they want something, do they like say, my grandfather's barn? We tore the barn down. I've got these beams. I want to bring them into my house, or do they just say, I want beams, and then you got to go find me beams?
Yeah, if they have something like that, it's really fun to bring that because it's so personal to them.
Yeah.
It's my grandpa's barn or whatever. But if they have something, they remember what it's like. We have a beam supplier up in Hugo
Okay.
that has beams from the early 1800s, late 1800s into the 1900s, any shape, style you can imagine. So they come up with, this is what we remember it looked like. We can give them an inspiration picture and some drawings and really create something that's
So
an art piece.
Are those beams? Are they pine? Are they hardwood? What's the wood?
There's all kinds.
Are they?
There is pine, but there's maple, oak, hardwoods.
So a beam that's that old, it's got to be hard as a rock. I mean, do you drill? I mean, how do you work
How do
with
you?
it?
Yeah. How do you get it up?
Yeah, so they
Yeah, I don't know yet.
some of them they're really, it depends on the scope of the project, but it's a lot of hoisting, and we make sure that the backer's in place. The actual trusses that are holding up the roof are engineered for that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
challenging.
It's
so
challenging.
Dan,
I was going to mention one thing cool about those beams is our vendor sometimes will even have a picture of the barn that was tore down.
oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a question for you, Danielle. Then you talked about designing some fun features in there. Who actually does the design work then? Do you work with an architecture or a firm, or who do you work with to do the actual design work?
Yep. So we have an in-house architectural designer
Okay.
who will draw up the plans. He will ultimately draw up any of the details like the fireplace design, bookshelves, built-ins, once we have the final designs. And then we work a lot with our trades. You know, we're building the whole home.
Yeah.
But some of our trades, I mean, they specialize just in amazing built-ins or the custom cabinets. So we really put a lot on them and their specialty and their expertise. So again, we'll have inspiration pictures and then talk with them, and it's a work in progress to come up with the right thing.
So then to go back,
Write down that though. Inspiration pictures. I like how they named that.
Okay.
Right? Inspiration
You read it.
pictures. I did already.
So, Joe, so then when you're in the, on terms of the plan, just from a kind of a nuts and bolts thing, then when you get field plans that you're out working with, is the detail there for the construction, or you just do a in the field, just kind of, like, well, this is kind of what they want to look like, master carpenter, how would you do that to do it on site? Like,
A little of each.
Okay.
Sometimes they really know what they want, and we can dial it in and get it right where they need to be. But other times it is a work in progress in the field, and I'll have the customer on site, and we're talking to the carpenter that's putting in place, and he's got ideas too. Everybody's input is really valuable.
Because I've worked with both, where it's basically a sketch, and you meet and you say, okay, this is what I want it to look like. How would you do it? And then they do it on site. And then I've had it where the architect actually has such detailed drawings that it just doesn't leave anything to the imagination anymore. That creative part of the work is done. Build it like this.
Well, we really find that what we see on a blueprint is really obvious to us. I can see how it's going to be when it's done, but to a lot of customers, it's just lines on paper, and they don't understand it until they're standing on the job site.
And then they want to change it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we do allow that flexibility, but we really do try to have everything dialed in before we start the job. So the plans are detailed, the selections are complete, but that's not to say a customer can't change it.
Right.
We like to have that on-site viewing.
One more time. Styles and structure. Architecture 651-202-0982, 651-202-0982. First contact is Danielle. She'll get you set up, and then they'll march you forward to the dream home of your choice, or the remodel that will make your current residence something you want to stay in for a very long time. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for having us.
All right.